This is the story of Seo-jun, where he grew stronger by farming and evolving his pets by giving them his special juice, making them thick. Thick. What the? In the previous episode, you saw how the tower manager was ill and was about to die in a few years. But after eating Seo-jun's special juicy cherry tomatoes, she started to heal. Meanwhile, the mother rabbits gave birth to 6 cute baby rabbits. And as the blue moon approached, the demon lord, the boss of the 99th floor, was ready to attack Seo-jun's cave with his army. Now, thanks to the Straw Hat's magical ability, Seo-jun enjoyed a significant harvest bonus. The upcoming week promised a 50% increase in the cherry tomato harvest. Standing by the cherry tomato farm, Seo-jun observed the miraculous results of this bonus. The cherry plants were adorned with double the usual number of flowers, and hundreds of busy honeybees buzzed around them collecting nectar. Seo-jun couldn't help but smile as he gazed at the thriving cherry tomato plants. The sight of the honeybees at work was like a symphony of nature in action. Now, sitting near the cherry tomato plants, Seo-jun started to think. He contemplated that tomorrow marked the 7th blue moon since he had arrived in the tower. He wondered if the baby bear and his mommy were also preparing for the blue moon, which might be the reason they didn't come to the cave today. Seo-jun also realized that he had to go to work and quickly prepare for the blue moon. However, Seo-jun's attention was diverted by the commotion of new baby rabbits. He turned back to see the cute baby rabbits running around, with Theo wearing a worried expression as he tried to catch them to prevent them from getting hurt. Theo managed to catch one of the baby rabbits that was nibbling on a half-eaten fish. He scolded the little one, explaining that the fish was dirty and not suitable for them to eat. The baby rabbits, of course, couldn't understand his words and continued their innocent exploration. Next, the baby rabbits attempted to approach the campfire. Another potential danger, Leo once again intervened. He scooped up the little rabbits and warned them about the fire. Frustrated, Theo gathered all the baby rabbits, holding one in his hand, another on his back, and one more in his other hand, gently scolding them all. Theo stressed that everything around them was too dangerous for the baby rabbits and that they needed to stay close to Uncle Theo. However, the baby rabbits, in their adorable innocence, remained clueless. Before we proceed, today's goal is 7K likes. Please like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Thank you. Let's continue. Observing Theo's caring and protective nature towards the baby rabbits, Seo-jun couldn't help but smile warmly. He never expected that Theo would become such a wonderful guardian for the little ones. While Theo continued to pick up the adventurous baby rabbits and place them on his cape, Seo-jun approached him. With genuine affection in his voice, Seo-jun asked Theo how he was faring as Uncle Theo to the baby rabbits and as the sales cat. Theo, a bit tired from all the baby rabbit wrangling, admitted that he was quite exhausted. The mother and father rabbits were very happy, watching how Theo was taking care of their babies. Theo then placed his hand proudly on his chest and declared that despite the exhaustion, he was thoroughly enjoying his role as the cool Uncle Theo. Seo-jun couldn't help but let out a slight chuckle at Theo's response. As Seo-jun turned back, the husband rabbit and the wife rabbit gave him a thumbs up very happily. Seo-jun returned the thumbs up with a smirking smile, indicating that they had successfully made Theo take care of the baby rabbits, freeing themselves from this responsibility. Theo, with all the baby rabbits now on his back, expressed his excitement at taking them on a grand adventure. He encouraged the little ones to hold on tight as they embarked on their journey. The baby rabbits clung to Theo, their tiny faces filled with pure joy. As Theo prepared to set off on this exciting adventure with his small companions, Seo-jun shouted from behind, reminding him to return before dinner. The scene shifted to the grand castle of our honeybee colony. Here the workers were diligently sealing the windows of the castle to keep out the influence of the upcoming blue moon. The rabbits too were one by one closing the entrances to their caves and retreating to the safety of their underground dwelling. Seo-jun, sitting on the ground nearby, began to unpack his bag. He too was all set for the impending blue moon. As he went about his preparations, he couldn't help but notice Theo attempting to enter his own bag. A curious expression crossed Seo-jun's face, and he asked Theo what he was up to. Theo, with his body halfway inside the bag, replied with a hint of playfulness in his voice. He explained that he was planning to take refuge inside his bag to avoid the effects of the blue moon. Since he had recently advanced to become a higher mid-level merchant, his bag had grown in size. Now, he could comfortably fit inside it, providing him with shelter from the moon's influence. As Theo settled himself into the bag, Seo-jun listened curiously. Theo continued, explaining that his bag, while useful, wasn't anything particularly special. and was about the size of a simple tent. However, he added that other high-level merchants had bags as large as entire houses. Seo-jun listened to Theo with curiosity, and then he got a great idea. Seo-jun carefully took out the queen bee's cocoon from his bag and handed it to Theo. He requested Theo to keep it safe. Theo received the cocoon with a mix of excitement and determination, cradling the precious item gently in his furry paws. He assured Seo-jun that he would protect the queen bee's cocoon with all his might, promising that not a single thread on it would be damaged. Seo-jun smiled warmly, expressing his trust in Theo's ability. As the blue moon slowly began its ascent, casting an otherworldly blue hue across the landscape, Seo-jun found himself gazing up at the sky. He couldn't help but wonder about the well-being of the baby bear and its mother during this unusual night. However, their thoughts were soon interrupted by an unexpected event. The ground beneath them began to tremble. Seo-jun swiftly placed the ear cups made of onion leaves over his ears, his face etched with concern. The vibrations from the shaking ground were accompanied by increasingly loud screams that pierced through the night. The sheer volume of the noise threatened to overwhelm Seo-jun, and he clutched his ears tightly, fearing they might burst from the intensity of the sound. It seemed as though something extraordinary and potentially perilous was unfolding outside the cave. After what seemed like an eternity, the deafening noise finally ceased, leaving a bewildered Seo-jun to ponder its origin. It had resembled the cry of a cow, but that raised a peculiar question. Were there cows on the 9th floor? Such thoughts swirled in his mind, but soon his attention was drawn to the cherry tomato plants. In the eerie blue light of the blue moon, the cherry tomatoes had undergone a remarkable transformation. They absorbed the moon's energy, turning a vibrant shade of blue. Seo-jun watched in astonishment as not just one, but multiple blue cherry tomatoes glistened in the moonlight. He couldn't help but wonder if the blue moon that night was exceptionally intense. However, the surprises didn't end there. To his amazement, Seo-jun noticed a corn plant also soaking in the energy of the blue moon. His excitement grew as he contemplated this unusual phenomenon. He speculated that the Straw Hat's ability, which had boosted the harvest by 50% for the week, might be responsible for these incredible developments. Morning eventually arrived, and Theo ventured outside the cave first. After surveying the area and ensuring it was safe, he informed Seo-jun that there was no sign of danger at the cave's entrance. Seo-jun, using the onion leaf rope, followed suit and emerged from the cave. However, Theo expressed concern about the potential dangers outside, especially after the unsettling screams from the previous night. He suggested that it might have been safer to wait until the mother bear returned to the cave. However, Seo-jun reassured him, explaining that he needed to investigate if the creatures responsible for the loud noises had caused any damage to their farm. Theo firmly clung to Seo-jun's legs, insisting that he would accompany him. He respectfully addressed Seo-jun as chairman. Seo-jun, with a warm smile, expressed his gratitude to Theo, referring to him as Salescat Theo. Outside the cave, the scene was far from pleasant. Their farm had been torn apart, leaving large mounds of dirt scattered around as if someone had used heavy machinery to dig extensive holes. But then Seo-jun noticed something, a large footprint of a monster about 7 meters in size, and after careful examination, concluded that the footprints resembled those of a large cow. He approached one of the massive dirt piles and marveled at the immense strength required to dig and form such a mound. As Seo-jun inspected the area, he noticed something that left him in shock. He sprinted toward one of the dirt piles and began to climb it energetically. Theo, bewildered by Seo-jun's actions, inquired about his intentions. Seo-jun, a handful of dirt in his hands and a look of pure happiness on his face, explained that the soil had a different texture from the usual barren ground. Instead of being crumbly, hard, and filled with pebbles, this soil was soft, moist, and appeared to be rich in nutrients. Seo-jun's mind raced with possibilities. He fantasized about transforming the area outside the cave into a lush, fertile farm teeming with crops. However, reality soon set in. To do this, he would need heavy machinery like tractors and excavators, which seemed impossible to obtain. The tower manager inquired about Seo-jun's presence outside the cave. Seo-jun casually explained that he had just come to check on the farm and was planning to return to the cave shortly. However, the tower manager scolded him, expressing her concern due to the intense blue moon from the previous night, which had led to dangerous conditions outside with monsters scattered about. With a hint of jest, Seo-jun slid down a mound of dirt and cheekily affirmed that he was indeed on his way. Playfully, he referred to the tower manager as Aileen, and asked if she had been okay during the intense blue moon last night. Annoyed by his nonchalant attitude, the tower manager firmly asserted that Seo-jun need not worry about her and emphasized his safety, instructing him to return to the cave immediately. Seo-jun couldn't resist a smirk and commented that it seemed like Aileen, the tower manager, was showing more concern for him today. In response, Aileen remained silent, leaving the conversation hanging. Then, Seo-jun descended from the cave, determined to harvest the crops nourished by the blue moon. Meanwhile, Theo was utterly exhausted and had retreated for some much-needed rest. Seo-jun took hold of a cornstalk, brimming with the energy of the blue moon. With careful precision, he plucked the corn and began to peel it open. To his amazement, the corn gleamed with a sparkling blue hue. Seo-jun then examined its properties, discovering it was called the Corn of Stamina. Consuming it would result in a permanent stamina increase of 0.1, making it both nutritious and delicious. Holding this unique blue corn in his hand, Seo-jun realized that because it was a D-rank crop, it provided double the stat boost compared to E-rank crops. Setting aside thoughts of calculations and numbers, Seo-jun eagerly prepared to take a bite of the blue corn. However, just as he was about to indulge, the tower manager issued a stern warning, reminding Seo-jun of his promise. Startled, Seo-jun swiftly wiped away his saliva, assuring the tower manager that he hadn't forgotten his commitment. To make amends, he plucked 5 blue cherry tomatoes and presented them to the tower manager. In response, the tower manager expressed her gratitude and promised to repay Seo-jun in the future. Seo-jun responded with a smile, eagerly looking forward to whatever awaited him. The tower manager held the 5 blue cherry tomatoes, each brimming with Seo-jun's special juice. As she gazed at these extraordinary fruits, a thought crossed her mind. If a regular cherry tomato could make her dragon heart beat, what would happen when she consumed one of Seo-jun's special, juicy cherry tomatoes? Without dwelling further on her curiosity, she impulsively popped all 5 blue cherry tomatoes into her mouth. The juiciness and flavor were beyond her wildest expectations, and for a moment, she felt as if she had entered a heavenly realm. She held her cheeks in delight, savoring the extraordinary taste. However, just as suddenly as the pleasure had washed over her, something unexpected occurred. First, a ticklish sensation pricked at her bottom. Then, a surge of intense pain engulfed her, and she collapsed onto the ground. Racked with agony, she cried out as a dark purple aura enveloped her heart. So the video ends here. What do you think will happen next? Write in the comments and give a purple heart if you watched till here. Thank you.